Welcome to Revelation Unraveled. I'm your host, William Tapley, also known as the third eagle of the Apocalypse and the co-prophet of the end times. This program will be a critique of Dewey Bruton's series on Daniel's timeline, and I recommend his programs for those who have not seen them, because I believe he is quite accurate as far as the years and months on his chart. I do have a problem with some of the events on his chart which I believe are out of place. And he dismisses another very important event, and that is the rapture, entirely. And that is because he believes the word take in verses 39 and 40 of Matthew chapter 24 should be translated the same, and that is not correct. In verse number 34, our Lord says, "And they knew not until the flood came and took them all away." So in this passage, the evil people at Noah's time are taken away. In verse number 40, Jesus says, "And then shall two be in the field, one shall be taken, and the other left." In this case, the word taken should be translated taken up. In other words, raptured. So our Lord is telling us in Matthew 24 that yes, indeed, there will be a rapture. Although we also need to understand from Revelation that very few will qualify for the rapture. Now let's take a look at Daniel's timeline. Daniel's timeline describes the 7 years of great tribulation. Daniel also writes about this when King Nebuchadnezzar goes insane for 7 times. In other words, 7 years. This refers to the 7 years of great tribulation. Daniel also writes about it when he tells the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace. Remember, in the fiery furnace, the flames are heated 7 times hotter than normal. Again, those 7 times indicate the 7 years of the Great Tribulation. Now, the 7 years of Great Tribulation is triggered by World War III, and I believe this will occur between the fall of 2009 and 2010. If you follow Dewey Bruton's timeline, it will be in the fall of 2009. He makes the mistake, however, of saying that the trigger is not World War III, but rather a covenant with the Antichrist. This is a common misconception. Now, in the first 3.5 years, in Revelation, St. John writes that the holy city is trod underfoot for 42 months. These 42 months are the same as 3.5 years. The holy city, however, is not Jerusalem, but the city of Rome and the Vatican City. This refers to the destruction of the Catholic Church. Both the Catholic Church and the United States must be destroyed before the Antichrist can appear. The United States, England, and Russia are all destroyed in World War III, or at least, as Daniel says, their power is taken away. Now, when the holy city is trod underfoot, that means that the woman must flee away from the Catholic Church, which has been taken over by the one world government. This woman refers to the remnant Catholics. It does not refer to Israel. At the same time, in Revelation 12:6, the 2 witnesses, that is Enoch and Elijah, preached during the first half of the Great Tribulation. Dewey Bruton mistakenly puts the 2 witnesses in the second half of the Great Tribulation. This is actually the covenant which is spoken of in the Bible. In other words, the Messianic covenant, not the Abrahamic covenant. Now, in the midst of the week, Dewey Bruton says that the date will be in spring of 2013. I believe it will be a little later. He insists on a date of March 22nd, 2013. For some reason, he seems to think that it must occur on the 11th day of Nisan, and not on a Sabbath or in winter time. And he could be right on that date. If it is spring 2013, as Dewey Bruton claims, then World War III, or the beginning of the Great Tribulation, begins this year, in September of 2009. Now let's look at the second half of the Great Tribulation. After Enoch and Elijah are assassinated and America and the Catholic Church are destroyed, the Antichrist begins his reign for a time, 2 times, and half a time. This is also found in Revelation 13:5. The Antichrist again reigns for 42 months, the same time frame as we have been speaking about. Daniel also notes that the woman flies for a time, 2 times, and half a time. It's important to understand that the word flies here is not the same as the word flees over here, because you flee from something. In this case, the remnant Catholics flee from the taken over Catholic Church. In the second half of the tribulation, the remnant Catholics fly to their place of protection in the desert away from the Antichrist. These two events are not the same, as Dewey Bruton seems to believe. In Daniel 12:7, he writes, "The holy people are scattered for a time, 2 times, and half a time." This is the same as the woman flying to her place in the desert for a 3.5 times. Now, the conclusion of the 7 years of Great Tribulation is, of course, Armageddon, which is, as I have explained in another program, will occur in the fall of 2017. In conclusion, although Dewey Bruton has some of the events in their wrong chronological order, I still recommend his series because he has a lot of interesting insights into the Jewish calendar, Jubilee years, and the Hebrew feasts. And if you would like more information, simply write to the address you see on your screen.